Welcome back to the channel. Sorry for the prolonged break. Reasons for that will come in the vlog at the end of the week. Anyway, it's time to bring you some 6.7-ish German tank RB. Starting off the lineup is a premium I have shown fairly recently. It is the RU-251, and this is perhaps one of the weirdest maps in the game. Mozdok. Why do I say weird? Well, it's domination. You have one cap that is completely in the open, and that's the one I'm heading to. You have one that is hotly contested, and the other one is a giant camp fest. I'm never really sure about on this map whether or not, especially on this side, whether or not to wait for allies on this capture point, because yes, there is a fairly nice set of cover to wait behind, but they're really, if the enemy has got certain vehicles at this BR, there's no safe spot inside the cap. But anyway, we decide to wait and let it go be on the record that it was the Panther 2 on the team that decided to start the cap first. So so if there's only three people that get the points for capturing this, and I am specifically talking about the spawn points for it, then rests squarely on that Panther 2 shoulders, who's quickly gone to all hands at camping stations. And if we were to somehow lose this match, which is entirely possible, because, you know, 3 people are the only ones who managed to get into the capture point, then it might be somewhat plausible to argue that he did contribute to this conundrum. And yes, I know that a certain amount of hypocrisy with the I'm not certain which way to go on whether to wait or not to wait at that capture point, given all things considered. But, you know, I did, and at the end of the day, decide to wait. So, enough rambling on about this. Now we're gonna make our way towards another northern part of this to try to get shots to cover B and put an end to some people that appear to be taking a sniping position, which is going to essentially pin down a good part of our flank. About to come up on that enemy position, and then I spot this M26. Well, it might be an M26. It might be, I think it was an M26. There, coming out in the open on his way to the B point. Promptly put a Heat FS shell squarely into the rear compartment in there. Knock out his engine, start a fire. Just notice he hasn't put it out yet. See his gun pointing out the way and dropping all kinds of nope sauce all over that. Just wait calmly for the kill. I know it sucks to not have FPE. I have plenty of vehicles that still don't have FPE in ground forces. I can relate to this. I can relate to the pain that guy's suffering. But burn, motherfucker, burn. Now here's I'm going to make a mistake. That Hori did not know I was there. I put a Heat FS shell into the fighting compartment, expecting a whole bunch of people in there, and it took out his gunner. Didn't really do anything to his breech or his cannon barrel. Put a successive shot into his engine compartment, which did diddly shit there. Promptly come around, take out one loader with a Heat FS shell, and mix it. I'm sensing a pattern here. Maybe in hindsight, what I should have done was loaded up that Hess shell and plant it squarely into the roof of that, you see that part that's sticking up right in there? Maybe I should have planted one right in there, but you know what? At the end of the day, that Hori still died. I wasn't the one who claimed to kill, but, you know, we're still helping the team. So, one Hori down, and I could have sworn that was a bush on that next ridge line. Hint, it wasn't. I dove down into here just out of force of habit, trying not to go up and over the hills as much as possible. Spot what appears to be something again, didn't know what it was, but chance taking the shot out here in the open. Yes, it's a hit. I completely fucked over that T29 or that T34s. I don't know which. Maybe it's T34. And that was mistake number 1. Mistake number 2 was using the fire extinguisher before the loader, can't speak English tonight, had finished reloading. Second one, well, was fatal, and I didn't manage to pick up much of anything other than, well, points for trying. Okay, vehicle number 2 in this lineup is the Tall 152 C3. I have this in the lineup because it has 30mm HVAP. Yum, yum, yum. I forget what the exact penetration on this particular variant of the Mark 103. That's not Mark 103. It is the Motorkanonen 0. You get the point. I'm way too tired to do much of anything tonight, I guess. Side effect of all the hullabaloo this weekend, from Turkey Day, all kinds of stuff just before then, and all kinds of shopping, online and whatnot. That HVAP right through the top of that Centurion, right for the kill, and we'll call that one for the win. So, yeah. Things have been fun. Things have been really fun. So, this being literally the first match I had played in War Thunder for a couple of days, it was a bit of a shocker to me, to be honest. I'm doing relatively well. I usually have 1 or 2 days where I am complete and utterly, meh. Unimpressive. Meh. Although, granted, I totally fucked up that pass on that Type 60 SPRG, so maybe this is just the difference between performing at the 55% level and performing at, say, the 70% level. Okay. Not sure which. I mean, some of the mechanics are still there, but it's more about knowledge of the meta. Anyway, so screwed up a couple passes there. We're gonna see if we do the next one. Well, that Scorpion doesn't have much on his vehicle that isn't somewhere between yellow and black, but he's still alive. Direct! And double direct! Yes. To quote Wesley Snipes from a certain movie from the 80s, "Oh, I'll get you with the next shot." And then I get distracted by an ally who's apparently calling out for assistance here, and I figure at the very least I'm not going to penetrate that heavy tank from that angle, but I'll probably kick up enough dirt to allow that medium to pull back. And he did pull back, so... Okay, now to refine that annoying little tank destroyer and put an end to him right now. Looks like our Type 60 friend has not learned his lesson. And 30mm HVAP for the win. 2 for 1. Twofer. Come on, you know you'll like it. I love 2 for 1. It was somewhere around this point that I went totally like, nah, I don't care anymore. I've done my part in the air. I've done it. Let's go for a scenic journey. And there's a weird graphical bug on Mozdok when you get out of render range, and it just makes that weird trapezoidal shape in that cutout there in their spawn. And it's like, who installed a dockyard there, man? There's PT boats in there now shooting at me. Well, yeah, there's not PT boats, but it's a nice precursor animation to possible brown water navy actions in the game. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I don't really want that, but it might come. So, picking up a few more like loser points and feeding them a kill. All in a day's work, right? Just to make the match go on just a little bit longer. And for those of you wondering why I decided to do that, look at the tickets. Yes, it's possible for the team to throw it, but that's why I have a heavy tank. I know the heavy tank isn't impervious at this stage of the game. There's still probably a couple of players out there that can spawn in vehicles that can take me out, but most AA, they'd have to get really close to take this thing out. Uncomfortably close. So I think this is a pretty safe bet to finish off and secure our hold on the game. Well, cheeky buggers. They've managed to decap B. Oh, I think our friends and I need to say something about that. So, because I've disabled the markers in this replay, because it kind of kills the atmosphere of it, the parts you don't understand is that there is another Tiger 2 about 100 meters in front of me, maybe 150 meters off there on that small ridge line, fighting in there. There's an IS-6 approaching from about 9 o'clock on the other side of this escarpment. And there's just a lone T-25 in here who just got obliterated. Yeah, foolhardy. Brave, but foolhardy. Granted, I don't think most players would be expecting heavy tanks to spawn at this stage of the battle, but that is what made this rush so good. And yes, that IS-6 did rush B. Yeah, I went there. So my mistake right here was not looking far enough to the left there. Take a quick pause there on that, take a shot at that heavy tank, take a shot in the rear engine compartment that just makes the fuel tanks alight, realize that I can still go forward, capitalize on that, get into hard cover, and then proceed to repair. I have two things that need repairing. That fuel tank that went on was just alight, and the turret ring, which somehow got jammed by probably from the shrapnel from that round. Yeah. I'm pretty certain it was a T-34, because otherwise, if it was a T-29, I'd probably be dead thanks to APHE, but we'll see if we can get a last cheeky shot here on this SPAA. Ah, the gun dips down, no sauce. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm going to leave you off with a little tidbit from the enemy Type 60 SPRGs from this video. Anyway, thank you, and have a good day.